How's it going? Welcome in. Welcome in. Hope you guys are having an awesome night. This is pretty much first coat. It's not looking too bad. A little splotchy, but I think with the second coat it'll darken up a lot better, especially on this cherry. But I'm liking what I'm seeing so far. That looks really nice. I'm gonna pour this quick. So just going a little at a time, about maybe a quarter or so. It's always good to set this over out of the way so I don't kick it over. Same goes with this. For the lighter wood, I'll be using dark walnut. Got a few more to stain here too. So a lot of cherry in this stack here. Man, making on a cherry table would be pretty nice. What's up? How's it going? Get ready to stain round two. Got some oak, got more cherry. What's up, guys? How you doing? So just get more of this wood out. Got a lot of cherry to stain. But I'll be finishing this up, at least the staining tonight before it gets dark. But yeah, it would be awesome just to make a cherry table like that. Very minimal. Yeah. What's nice is a lot of this is all free wood. Well, you got to be careful, if it's heat treated or not. This is going to be our backdrop for the wedding. You guys having a good night? Ours is just kind of starting. I know people are getting off work, making dinner. That's pretty much roughly what it's going to look like, but we're going to stain them. I personally like the multicolored look, but we want something a little bit more uniform. So I was joking around last night doing the first coat where I said I'm turning more and more into Ron Swanson, where I'm like, I don't want to be staining this cherry or oak, and just like when people want to paint like beautiful wood. But I'm a woodworker, so I think that's just kind of a given when people are like, oh yeah, I just want to throw some paint on there and call it good. But like, check out the beauty of the grain. But I know some wood's not that pretty. But well, if you guys can, please hit the like. Share it with your friends if you'd like. But how's everyone's night going? I just found it easier just to roll this. I was looking at a few sprayers though. Maybe down the road that's what I'm going to get. Because even just to spray paint would be so much easier. Appreciate the like. Where's everyone from? Some of the lighter wood, I'm going to go back by with the dark walnut. Really darken them up. I can definitely tell it's spring. You know, the birds are chirping. It's fairly mild out, not too bad. Yeah, just look at all that cherry. Looks nice. It looks similar to walnut. That's kind of the look we're going for. Over time, obviously, cherry darkens. It used to be a substitute for walnut, especially for contractors and builders that wanted to save a little bit of money. Is anyone going to go check out the Bearded Vikings stream at 8? It's coming up in 12 minutes. He's giving away some awesome boxes. I think it's a minimal buy-in too. He's doing more of a raffle, which I think is a great move, especially when he just started acquiring so much. You know, he's helping out the community. We get an opportunity to have something that he's handmade for a minimal investment. Well, that's the beauty of the woodworking community. You know, everyone coming up, trying to support each other. It's always disheartening when you always hear people trying to race to the bottom, especially on Marketplace and things like that. I understand the frustrations of sales, but you know, sometimes it's just your advertising, or maybe it's a item that no one wants to buy, at least not yet. Or you have to maybe rework on your ad, change the thumbnail, maybe add a video or something, and just follow up with those leads, you know, because there are still people clicking on that stuff. No reason to jump to start lowering the price, you know. Then sometimes people are like, well, I don't know if I want to buy that. But, you know, each their own. I know for probably the first 2 years, I really like undercut myself. And the reason why I really saw that was I always felt like, was my stuff worth it? Or they could go home and make it themselves, you know, for a little bit cheaper or whatever. But I'm just talking with a lot of the community and, you know, our skill set. A lot of those customers don't have the tools or safety equipment or even the time to really do something that's efficient. As you know, I had one guy where he was working on the same project for, I think it was like 4 months. I was able to go in there with my sander and a vac. I was able to make quick work of it. It looked beautiful. You know, something that just took him a lot longer. But it's different when you put, you know, money towards something too. And the urgency as well. So, yeah. It's probably about 50 out, so trying to get this done quick. Losing daylight. I lost daylight last night as well, but it's kind of what it is, you know. was visiting my mom up at the hospital today. So appreciate the prayers if you guys believe in God. I know she'll definitely greatly appreciate him too. Yeah, but we're getting close. It's going to be an 8x8 wall. Once I attach them all together. The lighter wood's going to be the special walnut, or the dark walnut, I mean. But a lot of this is already darkening up pretty good. Some of the stuff's, second coats, like on the lighter stuff. I think that's pretty close. So you got light and cherry. Then if I position them decent, I think that would look really nice. But 1 second, guys. Set you down, get some more stain here. Set these out. Do any of you guys do any backdrops or anything like that for wedding planners, or have you considered it maybe? So I'm thinking, depending on how it is, take some awesome photos with it. And I'll reach out to maybe some event planners that maybe they want to rent this for, I don't know, $50, $100 or something for a weekend. If they aren't like horrible on it, and not like throwing it around in a truck or something like that, it should hold up well. I haven't played with the idea of maybe doing like a semi-gloss or a flat or something like that. But I know right now a lot of this, like barnwood and pallet walls, are extremely popular. And it's awesome when we can reuse something that's going to be either like burned, thrown away, or just like rotting in a pile. But 1 second, let me pour this. You guys can look. Yeah, my beard's pretty crazy right now. So this is a special walnut. And for the lighter stuff, I'll be using the dark walnut. All right. If you guys can, please like the stream. Kind of helps push it out. Hopefully more people get a chance to tune in, especially after I post it, because apparently that's when you start getting your watch hours. See, I always thought it was about the streaming time, but it's after we list it. So getting closer to the goal, 4,000 watch hours, which is awesome. That's the main goal for this year. It's exciting to hit the 1K subs. As we continue to grow channel and grow the business, on the 29th, I got approval for the LLC. So that was pretty sweet. It's one of those things, going from a hobby to like a sole proprietor, then LLC. Maybe down the road, become that S Corp, get a few employees, and start knocking out some bigger and bigger projects. But, that's the glorious thing about YouTube. One video can change your life. So I hope you guys are staying, sticking with it, doing some stuff outside of the box, especially like these walls and things like that. Try to reach out to your event planners. I have a buddy down in Alabama that's been doing those marquee letters. I don't know if you guys ever watched 731 Woodworks channel, but they had David Clay on there. And he was just talking about his marquee letters and, and just how he's able to rent those out. Just make an awesome passive income. But he did say, it's a minimal investment of what do you say, like 2,200 for the whole alphabet. But, you can market them. You could probably even message him and be like, hey, David, I'd love to use some of your mock-ups and maybe get permission if you could post some of his stuff. But again, get permission. You don't want to be stealing anyone's work or anything like that, then trying to sell the idea and falling short. That's not a good business practice at all. But, if you get permission, or even check out his website, his Etsy store, get those build plans, make a set of your own. Yeah, but these bigger boards aren't too bad. This one's kind of beat up with a knot, but I kind of like it. And just even how the pine looks. I might be a sucker, but sometimes pine just looks nice. And I'm actually surprised the staining so well on it. Sometimes you'll use that like lighter stain stuff and it just looks crappy and blotchy. And you can always get that pre-stain conditioner. That helps out a little bit. And you can get that from Minwax as well. What's up, guys? I appreciate you swinging in here. Please like the stream. If you have any questions or anything, please holler. Stuff like this isn't extremely fancy, complicated, or anything like that. Just, this is kind of the look we're going for, like a Midwest modern. So it's gonna be like rustic. We're gonna have like more of the walnut color. Obviously, it costs an arm and a leg if this was all walnut. Unless I got really lucky with like pallets, and joke around, you got some oak in here, you got some cherry, a lot of pine, some cottonwood. Yeah, it's coming together. Some of the stuff in the bottom stack really has some beautiful grain. So I'm just gonna have to go through once everything dries and organize it, just to kind of see what's really like aesthetically pleasing. So I don't want like a big knot like in the middle, and that's what your eye's going to. But look at a lot of this, check that out. Might be a bad thing if I actually had a sawmill, because it'd be kind of like a wood porn or something, each cut into a slab. I never want to sell anything, and just start hanging on to wood. I'm a wood hoarder. I already am. So, but I hope you guys are enjoying this. It's just very basic, but this is part of the process. You gotta get a lot of this stuff done. Man, check that out. How's it going, Steve? Yeah, it's coming together. Down below, they're pretty nice. I'm gonna stack these back up real quick. Then I found this a lot easier just to roll this. With the Dollar Tree roller, I can throw away the head. When I'm done. I kind of hate to be like that wasteful, but even their paintbrushes are a lot better quality than buying those foam ones. If you really wanted to, I guess you'd rinse them out, but you can usually get a few coats of paint with them before you have to toss them, before you start getting a whole bunch of bristles and stuff in your paint. Oh, exactly. I think I have probably like $12 in 2x4s. All this pallet stuff was either from work or people that I knew. And half the time, we're just getting rid of a lot of this stuff. or it just sits out and rots and falls apart. Then, you know, at work, we just have a big mess. So, but I really got lucky. A lot of this has a whole bunch of cherry in it. Kind of like a broken record with that. Yeah. So May 3rd, so it's coming up quick. And kind of have a lot of stuff going on too. You know, changes at work. So I'll be relocating down the road. Haven't had a exact end date, but I'm leaning towards probably like June 1st. Like tentative, like I have enough comp time and vacation, things like that. But I also have to get my house ready to either rent or sell. So we'll be coming down here, you know, doing a lot of projects, like on weekends, things like that. So, but yeah, with my mom in the hospital too, that's been a little tough, you know. But God's got a plan, and we're all hanging tight, you know, and just praying, and it's all gonna work out, you know. It's just one of those things, you know. They're starting to get a little older, and she has fibromyalgia and some ulcerative colitis, so, you know, just a lot of things kind of going on. So I'm gonna pour some more stain quick. Oh, so I'll be moving to Beatrice, Nebraska. So it's gonna be weird. Like, we'll be in the country, but it's gonna be like a bigger population. You know, that they have a Walmart. They actually have some street lights, you know, stoplights. So it's pretty much gonna be like a big new world. Because I grew up in the city, but I have really like fallen in love with living in a small town. So it's gonna be a change. But we'll be out in the country too, so yeah. So it's definitely exciting. It's exciting for the business. If I'm able to build a successful business in like a town of like 500, give or take, I think moving to bigger populations is going to really expand, you know, the opportunities. And I'll be a little closer to Lincoln, Nebraska. So that'll be nice too. And my parents are in Omaha, so that'll take a little bit longer to get to. But it's not horrible. It's probably like a 2-hour drive. Yeah. Yeah, so the homestead's going to be outside of town. Probably like 2-3 miles. But I think in 20 years, it's probably going to be like a suburb. That's really what happened in Omaha. You know, we had cornfields in the backyard type of thing. Then as you get older, you know, all of a sudden those cornfields become houses. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so where do you live? Set you down again. Do you live in Japan still? Maybe that was someone else. All right, 1 second, guys. Oh, that's right. uh, Possibly. But Because that's Father's Day weekend, right? If I remember correctly. So I don't know if Rachel would be up for going to it. So I might still go like solo. Well, like she likes wood stuff and things like that, but I don't think she might think the sawdust race or the belt sanders are fun for a little bit, but then be like, all right, is this it? But her sister lives down in Kansas City, so maybe we could take like the scenic tour. Yeah. I still tell that story to people. They think it's like nuts. How's the coffee shop going? Oh, sweet. Well, I haven't made it yet because that's like one of those things. Like when I've made it, I want like an old rusty Jeep. So, so if you ever see a post about me rolling around in, I don't know, maybe a 70s or probably a 70s, like CJ or something. Oh, awesome. Yeah, we finally have like a coffee house here besides Casey's, but they have like weird hours. Like they're only open till like 2. And, we're a college town, even though we're very small. So, like, I go to, like, Scooters in Nebraska City just so I can use our internet. I can work on business stuff, like, after work. I don't know. Maybe I'm just weird, but I just use, like, mobile hotspot. So, trying to, do stream like this eats up my data, even though I have, like, unlimited, quote-unquote. But I just hate, like, sitting inside, like, trying to edit videos and things. Oh, cool. Yeah, I saw one for like $3,000. I was so tempted, but I have yet to quote unquote make it, so. But maybe I can put like my big logo on it and then be like it's a business expense. Oh, sweet. Yeah, maybe sometime we can meet up. Or if you have room in your Jeep for the Jeep ride down in King City, that'd be pretty sweet. I know, is it the Flint Hills? Like where they have like the big Jeep trails? Yeah, because one of Rachel's friends, her like fiance or something like that's like really big into trail riding. So I think they were talking about going down there with like their ATV. But it sounds like it's like pretty like rugged outdoors, going through some like pretty like mucky stuff. I guess they ended up getting stuck. Oh, cool. Well, yeah, that probably would have been taken a while to get down to Eureka. Would be gorgeous though. Yeah, it's kind of looking like walnut. It's definitely darker. But I think that's gonna look really nice, especially once I get it all attached to the 2x4s. Just trying to let some of this stuff dry a little bit. How's it going? My old neighbor is from Hyderabad, India, and his wife She actually moved to Peru, Nebraska for a little bit too when he worked for the college. And they grew up like just a few miles apart, but never ever like met each other. So it's just kind of awesome. Peru, Nebraska. All right, man. Steve, take care. Nice chatting. And I'll definitely let you know if I'm going down to Sawdust or if you got room for a person riding with you. All right, man. Take care. Is your name Rohit? This is just pallet wood with some stain on it. You got walnut, cherry, oak. Now it's kind of time to take some of this bleeding and things. Kind of spread it out so it don't get like any huge like blotches. But it's starting to get dark. Oh, of course. Oh, no, it's awesome. It's awesome to, like, I live in a small town, but since we have the college here, I had some other neighbors from, like, Russia, like Omsk and things like that. So that was really cool to be in such a small community and meeting people from all over the world. But Siobhan really didn't know how to cook too well, so that was kind of disappointing. He was more Americanized, so it was a lot of fried food and stuff. But once he found his wife, she cooked some amazing meals for us, which that was always awesome. And I met a few people from Nepal, which was awesome. Are you familiar with like the Gurkhali? And it's still obviously wet. We're just going for a darker look. This cherry is like really nice, but gotta stain it. Well, that's kind of the nice thing about using this roller. It just saturated all that stain, so it's easy to spread out now. Don't have to dip it anymore, so. I work maintenance at the college, so I do masonry, carpentry, plumbing, electrical, pretty much a lot of different things, and a little bit of woodworking, which kind of, it's tough because I would love just to do woodworking like full time, even on campus. But a lot of the stuff's, if students break it, we fix it. Then in the summer, that's when we do a lot more of the construction on campus. But no, my buddy, he is from Hyderabad. So he is already an Indian. Then he met his wife via his parents. They connected them, I'm assuming through maybe Skype or something. Kind of arranged marriage. Not really, though. And they pretty much had the whole interview process, and they fell in love. Now they got one kid, son. You know, he's excelling in Iowa. It varies. So, like I'm in a rural area. For the woodworking side, it was probably, I'm not trying to like flex or anything. It's very part-time, but like 42. So, but you know, after work, during work breaks, I'm doing like social media posting, just trying to build the business. But I think people that are doing it full time could easily clear like 100, 150, depending on how big of a jobs they're doing. But, you know, as you go bigger and bigger, you want to spread your blessings. So you try to help out other carpenters and woodworkers. So everyone has a chance to eat. You know, you're still making money, but you're not just working. You'll have an opportunity to actually have a life. So that's kind of like my idea is like, if I continue to grow, to, you know, have some employees, help them out. But the main thing is find someone that really like loves what they do. You know, they're serving a purpose, building like works of art. A lot of people, you know, might just think this is a piece of wood, but I look at like the details of the grains, you know, the orientations. But that's kind of part of loving what you do too. Yeah, that's just a rough ballpark. It depends on how hard they're working too. With being able to utilize AI, you know, you really don't have to hire like an assistant to do like any marketing. You can do it all yourself. You can automate a lot more things too. But even like plumbers and electricians, they're, you know, making $150K, especially in the bigger cities. Just because it's almost like a lost art, you know, as cities continue to expand, they need skilled laborers to be able to do a lot of that. I'm not exactly sure how much they could make, but I'm assuming it's probably pretty good, especially if they have their own little pharmacy. You know, because then you can actually sell different things besides medications in there. But that's awesome. You're definitely providing an awesome service for people, keeping them healthy. Growing up, did you want to be a pharmacist, or was something else like calling your name? Are you able to stream at your pharmacy? I was talking to my dad about that. I was like, well, that's another awesome thing is a lot of people are able to stream at work or their business without like violating anyone's like rights or anything like that, but just diversifying their income a little bit. And I was kind of explaining to him pretty much like how Google can be like a search engine. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, like my dad hasn't like understood that like people like watching people work or using like things like that to be able to learn the skill. Because like, you know, sometimes people like Google how to build a table. Then on YouTube they can do that. It's step by step. And the person that's created that, you know, video is making a little bit of money. Not a lot, but, you know, as their channel grows. It could be something pretty special. Yeah, it's taken a while to get kind of used to streaming, but I appreciate you chatting with me. It's a little different when you're like trying to work, but still have a conversation with something. So, but I never thought, I'd ever monetize from Facebook or anything like that. I still think that's crazy. Run out of stain, but getting close. Really liking how this wood's starting to turn out. I think tomorrow when I get back from the hospital, I'll try to get this stuff attached. My mom's up there right now, so I drove home because I still had to work on some of the business stuff, get this done, because the wedding's coming up for me. So May 3rd. It's pretty quick. All right. Well, I think I'm going to call it quits tonight. Yeah, so it's they have a thing where it's called like bonus program. So a lot of like engagement clicks, things like that, you get money. But then also the ads as well. But like Facebook Reels, most of them are like 3 to 90 seconds or something like that, where you're really not making too much money. You might make, I don't know, probably like 20 cents per 1,000 views. But if you actually release like videos on YouTube that are longer than 3 minutes is the minimum, you can actually make some pretty decent money. My problem is, like, since I do a lot of my editing on the phone, I make it short, sweet, get it uploaded, then usually I have to delete it just to make room. I need to start utilizing like external hard drives and things like that, because I have probably 4 years of content like on multiple devices, but I need to get them like all centralized, so then I can do like one long video for like YouTube, also post like on Facebook, things like that. You can also monetize a little bit from Instagram. It's not as much though, but I think it's the same concept. Well, if you make it, definitely shoot me a message or something like that. There's a lot of places in America I've never been yet, but it's been kind of cool, like starting to ship things to like Alaska and things like that. My cousin's over in Hawaii. He's in the Navy, so I shipped him something there. So it might be kind of cool to like say I shipped him, items to like 50 different states. Yeah, when I was down at Workbench Con, there's a blacksmith. He went over to Pakistan and he learned how to do like Damascus. And there was some really, really cool looking blades that he made. So I want to start getting a little bit into blacksmithing. But little by little, I don't want too many irons in the fire. But I'd love to make my own tools, especially like chisels, things like that. So if you could come to the United States, what state would you want to go to first? It's like if I had an opportunity to go to India, like I would want to go to Hyderabad. Just seeing like those windy roads around the mountains, I think that'd be really, really cool. Even some of like the farming regions would be really neat to see, like being able to grow different grains. Okay, yeah. Washington, D.C. or Washington, the state. For our honeymoon, we're going to go up to Oregon, to Washington, just to see Mount St. Helens. And just check out a lot of those trees. Then go down the coast. So that's going to be really neat. What city do you live in? Or town? Or because technically the town I live in is classified as a village, because it's under 1,000 people. But what's crazy is we have a college here. Oh, cool. What time is it there? Right now it's 8:28 p.m. Are you married or have a girlfriend or anything? Or do you just work? Okay, cool. What time do you work at? Alright, just about done, guys. Yeah, you really can't see it anymore. So, hit that white spot there. And I think I'm going to call it good. I'll just do a little soft roll on the top. Set these off to the side. A lot of this won't even be like seen. It'll be on the sides, but it'll look good to be completed though. Yeah, if you're on Facebook or Instagram, please look up Villeneuve Woodworks. All right. I'll set you guys down quick. Yeah, so be moving to a city, but it'll be still out in the country, about 3 miles. So I'll also have access to the hospital and things like that, just in case, something bad happens. Say I chop off my finger or something, I'll be able to at least get it sewn back on. Hopefully I don't, chop off any fingers or anything like that, but it is good to have hospitals nearby, because it takes right now, about 12 minutes to get to a hospital. I wish I could turn on the flashlight, but I don't think I can. Hey, you really can't see it. But I'll probably go live sometime tomorrow. Hopefully get an update. Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely scary. Like my mom receives a treatment, and I think my dad was saying it was like 10 grand for like 80 minutes of treatment. But it's for her ulcerative colitis, so she has a lot of intestinal stuff going on, slow digestion and things like that. So it's definitely tough. It's expensive, and I'm thankful that they have the access to be able to take care of it and help manage it. Yeah, it's nuts. So I'm thankful I've been healthy. Like no like serious, no broken bones or anything like that. Yeah, I think and that's the sad thing, a lot of people are, they need a lot of those medications and things like that, but it's tough, it's like, do you eat or do you get healthy? Oh, I bet. Yeah, one guy I used to work for, he would go down to Mexico, and that's where he'd get like his eye surgeries and things like that. If he needed to go to like the dentist, he'd go down there too, and a lot cheaper down there. And it's still, you gotta read reviews. You don't want to just go to some guy off the street, but he'd go to like reputable places and pay like a fraction. Yeah. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to be logging off here. I'm going to kind of stack these up, let them dry. But yeah, please follow me on Facebook or Instagram. And we'll stay in touch, man. All right. Well, you guys have a good night. Take care.